Today on Comm Talk, we're giving a little bit of an update.
Glix, what is going on?
We are receiving a signal from a new area on the planet Geek.
All right, let's see what the planet has for us today.
Opening comms in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, Devoted Geeks, and welcome to Comm Talk, the podcast extension of Geek Devotions, a show from Devoted Geeks are devoted to letting you know that you are loved. I was so glad you guys hit the play button today. Today, ladies and gentlemen, this is a special patron exclusive release to our normal contact feed. And I say that in the fact that our patrons who support us for as little as $1 a month, and we're super thankful for, they actually get access to this episode a week in advance.
Almost a full week.
Yay. These are the perks. And so we're talking about some stuff coming up at Geek Devotions, talking about personal life stuff in this episode, because the thing about Geek Devotions is this is a very personal ministry.
Yeah.
And I'm wary about it becoming corporate and becoming very distant. It can be that way, especially when you and I go through seasons where we're just busy.
Yeah.
And I don't want just to be watch this article, read this article from our team, listen to this podcast. We want this to be personal.
Yeah. But at the same time, having a team does help so that we just don't drop off the face of the ministry when we do get busy. Because just because our life gets busy doesn't mean that people don't need to know that they're loved.
Exactly.
So everything has a place and a time.
Absolutely. So we're going through all that together. And so today's episode is just kind of it's going to be a casual conversation about life, about Geek Devotions, what's happening in the ministry. Celeste, where do we want to start?
Let's start with an update on our 501c3 fundraiser.
That's fair.
Because we've had quite a few people ask about that.
Right. So where we're at with that, quite simply, it's on pause until we can find a way to raise more funds, and that's dedicated for that. It's going to be on pause. So what we're doing right now is we're going to be looking at our finances, both Geek Devotions and personal finances, and try to whittle out a little bit more room to push towards that fund.
Right.
Right now, our stuff that we use are not our patron money that comes in. It pays for the necessities of Geek Devotions.
Yeah.
It pays for the website. It pays for the podcasting. It pays for the equipment and some of the things that we have to do. In fact, speaking of equipment, we just had to use our patron money to buy a new microphone for Geek Devotions.
Yep, because the microphone we had no longer worked.
So we had bought a microphone, I want to say 3 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
And it was a decent microphone. We liked it. And it was kind of a travel microphone. Now, this is how raw it is. We now have somebody outside doing the yard. So you guys may hear that.
If you hear that noise, that is our neighbor mowing his lawn.
So, but it was a good microphone. It was like AKG P120.
Yeah.
It worked great. I deemed it Celeste's microphone
because it picked up my quiet voice better.
Right. But it was also our travel microphone. So when we had other guests who came on the show, they used that microphone. So pulling the curtain back, the Gundam Watch, fantastic podcast. I encourage you guys to check it out if you're fans of Mostly Gundam. My sister has been part of the segments where we're talking about Gundam Wing.
Yep.
My sister does not have a microphone.
No, she does not.
So I've been going to her house, setting up a board, setting up a microphone, and getting her set up. Well, she's using the P120.
Yeah.
So it travels. Well, roughly 6 months ago, we started having issues with it not screwing on correctly.
And not connecting to the cord correctly.
Right. And it was causing issues.
I want to say during I don't remember if it was a live stream or a podcast, the cord just fell out.
Yeah.
Like mid-sentence. It was just bloop, down on the ground. And we're like,
I think it was the middle of a live stream that took place.
Oh, I think you're right. I think it was the middle of the live stream.
And so it was just one of those...
trying to move the stand.
It just popped out like, nope, I'm done. Goodbye.
I don't feel like audioing today.
So it's like, no, we got you for a reason. Now, to be fair, this microphone, I'm not going to say the business that we purchased it from. I'm sure they do good things, but they were advertising a specific package at the time. And when I went to the store, they didn't have the package.
Yeah.
So they made a package up for me.
He's doing air quotes for those who can't see.
Yes. And so they made this package up for me. And the package was supposed to include the Scarlett 2i2, which is a fantastic machine, a mic stand, microphone, and an XLR cable.
Yeah.
That's what was supposed to come with it. They didn't have this package, so they made up a package. And so they got me the Scarlett 2i2. They got me the cheapest mic stand I've ever seen in my life.
We don't use it at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it's at.
It's over there.
No, that's not it.
That's not it?
No, that's the one that somebody gave us to that was not, it was better, but not great. I think we got rid of it.
Either that or it's in the attic. Where we put all things that we don't want to think about.
Right.
It's like Hitler. We put it in the cupboard.
That's a Doctor Who reference for those of you who don't know. But anyways, so we it came with that, but it also came with this microphone. And I can't guarantee you how new the microphone was. It's not a bad microphone. It worked great, but
I forgot the mic was part of that package.
let's just say that the total of everything didn't make sense.
No, it did not.
Now, the Scarlett 2i2, legitimately the best thing in that package.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that device. In fact, we gifted it to somebody else who was starting their own podcast stuff. So
Once we got a different board.
once we got our own stuff, yeah. So it was one of those things where we needed to upgrade. Because we couldn't do this.
No.
Like, there was no way for us to do this at all.
We couldn't. And by this, he means podcast at the same time.
Right, with this two of us. And so we had to break down. So we took some of our patron money that we have. Again, it's set aside separate from the stuff that's coming for the fundraiser.
Yes.
When we have been very careful to make sure those finances are separate.
Yes.
And we bought a Rode Pod mic.
It's a cute little thing.
It is, but it's a hefty thing. It's a solid one. It's the microphone that we use for the podcast at my church, which was called the Midweek Move, where we go through the scriptures line by line, verse by verse, and asking ourselves, what is happening here? Check that out if you guys want to. But it's the same microphone.
Yeah. It, to me, has the look of like the classic old-timey mics. Not quite like that, but that's I think that was the feel they were going for.
It's
with
a great microphone. It's solid.
Snazzy.
It's snazzy, but it's solid. It's trustworthy. So we had to buy that just so we could do podcasting.
So, and there's things like that. Like sometimes we can't afford to go see a movie ourselves. So Geek Devotions buys tickets.
Right. Now, we say that.
Yeah.
Understand everything that we spend money on with Geek Devotions money is for Geek Devotions.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We're not just like, I want a burger today, and we're just going to buy burgers.
No. Like a movie that we had already committed to doing a review on, doing a devotion on, doing something on. We don't, no, God, no. We don't just take Geek Devotions money and run with it. That'd be terrible.
So, and it's not like the patrons, we appreciate our patrons, but it's not like they subsidize everything we do. Like a lot of our own stuff goes into Geek Devotions.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So all that to being said, and that, I know that's a big route trail, we're looking at the finances of what we have coming in from our patrons and our personal money. And we're trying to whittle out some more room because we basically have to raise another, I've forgotten the exact number. I want to say that we have to raise, to get to the goal, the original goal that we had of $6,000, we have to raise another like $2,500 to hit that goal.
Now, some of that is taxes. So if we don't raise it before the new year, that number might change a little because we'll pay taxes on what we've already gotten in. So
exactly. So that's where we are with the whole program. We're not stopping. It's a dream. We are doing our best to honor what's been given to us, and we're protecting that because that's part of being a good steward.
Yeah,
you know, you use what you've been given appropriately, and that money was given to us for a very specific reason. We're going to use it, and our patron money, our normal patron money, it's given to us for a reason, and we're using that as appropriately as possible also. So that's the update on that whole situation.
Yeah.
So we've had some people that thrown out some great ideas for like some of the fundraisers and stuff like that. Just working it out, seeing how it works out. Some of it is a little more feasible than others.
Yeah. Some of it requires time from us, and as of late, our schedules have gotten busier, so we can leading into the next
topic of life updates. And that would be the fact that we've gone back into youth ministry.
Yep.
And we mentioned it, but let's talk about that. What's that's been like for you, Celeste? Is you've changed your career.
Yeah.
We're still doing Geek Devotions, and now we've gone back into youth ministry. How's that been like for you?
Honestly, Geek Devotions is the most steady thing work-wise at the moment. That and the fact that we still do media at the church.
Right.
Like that has not changed.
Yeah.
We've just added more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It's been interesting. I forget how much more brain power youth ministry takes. If that makes sense. Like, media ministry, because you're the one who does most of the graphics, was really more of a, for me anyway, making sure that you stayed sane during COVID especially.
Right.
And then helping out when things needed to be helping out, grabbing a camera, running the stuff, much more of the background things.
Right. Most of the stuff that we do for the media team, I try to make it as plug and play as possible.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
So it's a whole different animal doing youth ministry, and I love it because I love working with teenagers.
Yeah.
So I don't want anyone to think that I'm over here going, oh, I didn't want to go back. No, I was so hyped.
Yeah.
Because I went to school for this.
Right.
I got a degree in this, much to the chagrin of some people. So it's a passion. It's something I enjoy.
Yeah.
I love talking, especially to the 6th graders.
Yeah.
Because they are still innocent.
Which is great because most of our youth group is 6th graders.
Yeah, it is. Like, I'm in my own little personal heaven because I'm like, y'all are so just blunt. Like, I had a lot of fun Wednesday messing with one girl because she came in and we were like, do you like this video game? And she goes, is that a video game? And we go, yeah. And she goes, oh, I don't like video games because they rot your brain. And I went, oh, baby, I need you to verify that. What do you mean? Like, trying to get her to use her critical thinking.
Let's talk through this.
Let's talk through this.
Through this obviously skewed mindset.
What's your reasoning behind this? How does it rot your brain? Like, and I told her, I was like, you do not have to like video games, but I need you to understand when you say things like that, you probably should be able to back it up. And she just was like,
Well, it's not just that, but you're also teaching her to go, hey, maybe I've unintentionally attacked somebody by making that statement.
Yeah.
And that is a legitimate thing that people, they don't think about. Like, we'll joke about, well, we don't sport. We're not going to attack people's sporting stuff, Oh,
no.
It's, if that's your thing, rock it out, man. Have fun.
We will listen to you talk about your sport, as evidence of our Latina friend who was talking about football to me on Sunday night. And I'm like, I know some about soccer, but
this is all you need to help you understand soccer. Take everything you understand about American football and throw it away. It would make it so much easier for you to understand soccer.
I actually understand soccer a little better than most sports because my best friend growing up was a soccer player.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, she was all up in the World Cup. She ended up reffing through high school as her second job. So, like, I was at a lot of games because,
Right. Run with the homies.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand the basis of you get the ball in the goal and then they try to stop it.
Right.
That's all I need to know.
I get that.
So, but it was, she is a very passionate person. And I was right. Oh, okay. So yeah.
Yeah, but what was cool is like you connected with her on another level, the young lady, because she's a dancer, she's into dance, stuff like that. So you're able to talk shop with her about different stuff and everything like that. And so it wasn't just like shutting her down, but you're like,
oh no,
highlighting the stuff she's into also.
Yeah. And I made sure to make sure that she understood I was not attacking her opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, you are allowed to have that opinion, and that is completely fine. But when you make statements like that,
let's think through it.
Let's think about the reasoning and be able to back it up.
Right. Exactly. That's funny.
So critical thinking with 11-year-olds.
Right. That's funny. So you've been enjoying going back to youth ministry?
Yeah.
That's good. I've enjoyed it too. It's been a interesting transition for us.
Yeah,
I'm still figuring out some stuff. I'm having to make some phone calls and still figure out some stuff. I have to get fingerprinted by the parish now.
Yeah.
To go on schools. And so I have to do several things. I'm still trying to work out what will be appropriate and not appropriate as far as being on campus, not being on campus, getting involved with students, not getting involved with students.
Yeah.
Figuring all that out. And also doing media. So I was cards on table before I was full-time media. I was the youth pastor and the media pastor also. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like this isn't like a new thing for me.
Yeah.
We're just a little bit heavier on media stuff now than we used to be, in my opinion.
Because we are, because that's why you stepped out of youth, was because you couldn't handle both at the time.
Right.
And honestly, I think that was God preparing our church for the shutdowns, because we did a lot better than a lot of other churches did during that time.
Totally.
We had the knowledge and the capabilities and the way to make things happen. Now, it may have been janky behind the screen where we're running 2 cameras and they only go for 15 minutes and we have to start them at different times, and Dallas looks like he's running around doing a puppet show, pulling strings to make things happen. But the end product looked good.
Yeah. So plus, I mean, in this time frame, I've grown. I'm a far better editor than I was 5 years ago.
Oh yeah.
I remember when COVID first happened. I mean, it was hours of editing.
Oh my gosh.
And with the system we have in place now at the church, when you add in the fact that I am a faster editor now, plus we've removed a lot of the extra stuff.
Yeah.
I'm able to bang out stuff pretty quickly now. I have a rhythm. I have a system. So I've been able to free up some stuff.
Yeah.
So that's been good.
Yeah.
And so working that out and then going back in youth ministry, trying to but dig back up some old skill sets, some old ways of doing things I used to have. I built a website for the youth ministry, and it's purely to keep parents in the loop about what's happening in the student ministry. I update them through the website with the lesson that we teach each week. And now we've only done two services.
Yeah.
And we're not even going to have youth service for the next 2 weeks.
We're not.
Because we're having a night of worship, and then we're having a big fellowship night at the church. But we're updating people, and because I want parents to see the value. Because we have some parents, no fault of their own, but they just don't see the value of being there on Wednesdays. Because there hasn't really been a push for it. Again, and this isn't an attack against anybody, but just the way that society's been.
Yeah.
When COVID happened, there was no Wednesday night, so people filled the gap with their other stuff. And now that we're back on Wednesdays, there's this tension of like, well, but we're already doing this. Well, that's fine, but this is what we're doing, and this is the value that I'm presenting here on Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
And so the website's for me to go, this is the value. Now you decide what you want to do with that.
And I think we talked about this a little bit when we did a podcast about a camp debrief?
I think so.
I vaguely remember talking into a mic about Holly Davis.
Right.
So, but
yes,
so we did do that. I think we said it in that podcast that all of these kids were super young when COVID happened. They don't know. I had to explain to 2 of our kids what a lock-in was.
Oh, yeah.
because they didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's standard. That's like part of Youth Ministry 101 of events to do.
Right.
But they don't know what that is.
Not a clue.
And so it's a different thing than the youth ministry we did run, because, those kids most of them had grown up in church. The ones that hadn't, there's just an expectation of things that these kids don't have.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be fun trying to teach them their ways. I cannot wait to teach them Murder in the Dark.
Oh, yeah. That's a fun game.
Live action Among Us.
Oh, my gosh. So that's the thing that's taking place. Trying to think of what else to update folks on. New theme coming up in October.
Oh, yeah.
And
oh, wait, are you going on to the theme for October?
I think that's what I just said.
You said new thing.
Oh, new theme.
Oh.
I'm sorry. It's hard to talk over the sound of the dude's edger outside.
We appreciate that you care for your lawn.
Oh my gosh. So new theme for Geek Devotions in October.
Yeah.
What'd you call it? Sci-Frights?
Sci-Frights.
All right, so explain Sci-Frights for us.
Now, the name is not new. I snatched it from somewhere in my subconscious, which means I've heard it from somewhere else. I don't remember. But Sci-Frights is going to be science fiction movies that are a little more intense.
Okay.
So, like Alien.
Right.
Alien is a science fiction movie.
Yeah.
But it's technically a horror movie.
Right.
Jurassic Park is supposed to be a horror movie. But that's science fiction.
Right.
Because it's dinosaurs. And so we may not pull from those two movies, but it's going to be things in the vein. Because you and I don't do scary movies.
No, we don't. That's just not our jam.
That's just not a thing for us. I will punch somebody, and Dallas is usually the one next to me, so we'd like to keep him intact.
When she gets scared, for context, that's what she means.
Oh, yes. No.
When jump scares happen, her fists go flying with her.
I have almost punched my boss like 6 different times because he thinks it's funny to scare me. He thinks it's funny to scare everybody, but that's beside the point.
Indeed.
So it's just not a thing
for
us, but we enjoy science fiction, and so we're trying to keep in the spooky theme of October,
right? But
at the same time, do something that fits more in the vein of things that we will watch.
Totally. So this is gonna be interesting. You guys know how we do with our themes. It rotates every other month. We have a new theme, but also every October we try to do something interesting.
Oh, yeah.
We've had fun with it in the years past.
I think the first theme we ever did in October was Godzilla.
It was King of the Monsters month. Mm-hmm. And so it was all Godzilla all
month long. And that's how you became known as the Godzilla guy.
And I'm not. I enjoy Godzilla. I like the dinosaur.
Rawr. We watched the new Jurassic Park movie, the one from 2022, and they rigged it to where one of the dinosaurs blew fire out of his mouth, and I was like, oh look, it's Godzilla. No, it's not. That's
actually a better Godzilla than what we had in '99.
Oh, like that one. Anyway, so we haven't gotten into the depths of how far-reaching we're going to do this. We may be doing podcasts on it. We might not.
Right.
I do know that We Read Allegedly is doing 2 podcasts for October.
Oh.
We are going to be doing Dracula, because all 3 of us have never actually read Dracula. Well, no, John's read Dracula, but he's always down to reread Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
But then we're also going to do Frankenstein, which fits in.
It's Frankenstein.
Which fits in. Does that movie qualify?
What?
Oh, no. Trying to figure out how to get Mel Brooks onto the show. It fits in with the Sci-Frights because it was the original science fiction.
I get that. dig it. I dig it. So, love to hear from you guys. What's your favorite sci-fright film? Let us know. Reach out to us. Hit us up on social media. When this finally hits the YouTubes, leave comments. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
So, any other major updates we want to make? There's some personal stuff we got going in our lives.
I mean, yeah.
I have started doing product photography.
Yep.
And so if you would like, if you have a product, maybe you have a craft, or maybe you have you're selling snake oil and you want it to look pretty on pictures so you can sell it. Let me know. I can do that.
Steve at Snaketuary does not sell snake oil. He sells snake hot sauce.
He does, but snake oils are a whole other thing.
That's true.
So, but legitimately, that's something that I've done, just trying to bring some extra income in for us as personal stuff. And so, if you guys are interested in that, let me know. So,
I think we've mentioned this multiple times, but I've switched careers. I don't remember what our last update entailed, but I'm no longer stabbing people. Now I just stab cloth.
You're a monogrammer now.
An embroiderer. An embroiderer. Yeah. So we've always called it monogrammers because your mom calls the room the monogramming room, but technically it's an embroiderer.
Nice. So you make all the patches, not patches, but you put all the stuff on the shirts for people's schools and stuff like that, and jackets and junk.
All the bat bags.
You got thrown in the deep end when you...
And the numbers. Like, they put numbers on the back of baseball hats. Like, I don't know why that's a thing, but I at least once a week have a set of hats that I have to put numbers on for each individual kid to have their number on the back of their hats.
Right.
So it's a thing. Because fall ball is starting.
Oh.
That's a thing.
Interesting.
Football and fall ball.
Right.
Just finished volleyball stuff. So I'm going to learn about sports, even though I don't sport.
Yeah. Rock it out.
Because I know all the things. Like, they get towels with their names and the logo.
Okay.
And they trade them like Pokemon cards.
That's interesting.
Like, when they go to a like championship game, they trade them. Like, here, we played each other. I don't understand the reasoning behind it, but it's a thing.
All right. Cool beans.
Okay.
Well, guys, I think that's about all we have for you guys for this week.
Yeah.
Again, this was a patron exclusive that's out week out early, and then it will hit our normal feed next Sunday. And so if you guys have enjoyed this, maybe if you're in the normal feed and you're like, well, I would like to hear this stuff earlier, hit us up. Go to geekdevotions.com / no, don't do a / just go to support page geekdevotions.com and check out our Patreon stuff and learn how for as little as $1 a month you can have access to this podcast and help support the ministry.
Yeah.
We say this often, but we really do appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we do.
We appreciate your help. We were blown away by the amount of funds that came in for the nonprofit status.
Absolutely. And
we are so thankful for our monthly donors who help us to, again, like we said, pay for the stuff, pay for the microphone that we needed to get. We're super appreciative for all that kind of stuff. And so thank you for being our friends.
Yeah.
And believing in Geek Devotions.
Thank you for coming alongside us and helping us let people know that they're loved.
Word. So, all right. Well, Celeste, why don't you land the plane, babe?
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to Comm Talk today. If you have loved this episode, head on over to Apple Podcasts or to Spotify to rate and leave a review. It is very much appreciated. So until next time, stay devoted.
Peace and love.